Nerd out here with Makzwell showing off instant ancient smokes using NartOutHere, a utility practice mode from refrag.gg, my new sponsor. Use code NART for 15% off at checkout. Before showing the smokes, I want to showcase some awesome features that NartOutHere provides when learning utility. You can see where your nades are projected to land before even throwing the nade, so you don't waste time. The system will predict where your utility will land with this blue line that you are seeing, but let's say you want to jump throw your utility, however you can't see that blue line. But NartOutHere still has a feature where it shows you where that utility will land regardless, even if it's a position you can't see at the moment. You can still do so as seen here. Throwing this house smoke, I can still see where my smoke will land perfectly. And then another key feature I want to talk about is that once I throw the smoke, I could also follow the smoke like you're able to in a demo. I love this option. I'll show how to use the grenade finder later in the video. NartOutHere makes it really easy to learn instant smokes on any maps with these set spawn points as well. Without further ado, Makzwell will start with the instant house smokes.
I'm going to be showing the house smokes at least. From left to right, there are 5 smokes. And the numbers refrag uses, which I'll be referring to these spawns as, is spawn 4, which is the leftmost. Then it goes spawn 3, spawn 5, spawn 1, and then spawn 2. Spawn number 6 does not have a lineup. So for the leftmost spawn, which is spawn number 4, it's the easiest smoke, I'd say. So it's the leftmost spawn, and you aim at the peak of this little pyramid right here, and then you're going to want to tap W and jump throw. All of these smokes are tap W jump throw for the house smokes. Lands flush. Then moving on, we have spawn number 3, and for this smoke, you know you're the farthest back. You want to find this part of the wall right here and triangulate this corner, and then tap W jump throw. Very nice. Then spawn number 5, probably the hardest one to learn at first. It kind of just looks like you're looking at a wall. You're going to want to find this big leaf right here. Then you're going to want to go up a little and to the right. You see this little round leaf. You want to aim between this leaf and this leaf. So it sounds very complicated. You just want to aim just like this. And then that's also a tap W jump throw. And then spawn number 1, fairly easy. You want to look at this wall. This is, you know, it's spawn 1 when you're far back and you're on the right side behind either 2 teammates or 1, and you're on the right side of this wall. So you want to follow this line of bricks down here to the second brick, just like that. And then you're going to tap the W jump throw. And then last but not least, spawn number 2, which is probably the second easiest. You know you're in this spawn when you're the furthest to the right and you're kind of isolated. You're going to want to find this gap in the leaves right here. So underneath this square. We're going to want to aim just like this. And then tap W jump throw. And there you go. There's all 5 instant house smokes. So for the house smoke without a spawn, you can come to this pillar of rocks. You're going to want to go to roughly this line in the wall. It does not have to be precise. And you're going to want to aim at the meeting point of this brick and this brick on the left side. You're going to want to aim here and then jump throw. That's a regular jump throw. And it lands flush. So now moving on to an even more advanced nade lineup. We have the insta left and right side Mid Molotovs, as well as the donut smoke off spawn. And that is thrown, so you're going to be throwing the left side molly and the donut smoke from spawn number 3, which is the furthest back left side set of spawns. And for the molly, initially when you spawn in, you're going to want to aim at this thick black line. You're going to want to aim at the bottom of it, just like this. And then without moving your mouse, only holding S, and you can walk as well to make it a little easier. You're going to walk straight back until you get to this dark part of this leaf. And then jump there. And then without moving, you're going to aim at where this stem protrudes off. You're going to aim just outside this big wall, just like this. And then once you get to about here, you're going to release after walk, jump throwing. Just like that. And it looks like it doesn't cover everything, but it does. And then it also may make the molly extinguish sound, but it does not extinguish the molly all the way. I'll show both those nades thrown together right now. So the molly, you aim here. So I walk all the way back to here, like that. And then the smoke. And then for the right side molly, again, it's the furthest back spawn, but this time it's on the right side, which is spawn number 1. And for this molly, you're going to want to aim in between these leaves right here at the level of this line. There's a little crack in the wall. You're going to want to aim there initially. Then again, without moving your mouse, walk straight backwards holding S until you're on these leaves. So if you aim at the start of this leaf, it will not work. As long as you're about here and you just jump there, that will hit about every time. And it won't extend all the way into the cubby.
FaZe Clan were the first team to show off this nade set that Makzwell just showed how to throw. It's a great nade set to stop the CTs from advancing mid because the mollies will land before the CTs can even come out of the house. So for the Ts, you can easily take mid control with this nade set here.
Now moving on to the donut molly as well as the donut smoke. You're going to want to aim at the left side of this waterfall when you're lining it up. And then for the molly, you're going to find the first, second, third branch from the left at this point, and you're going to want to aim at the left on this line, just like this. And that's a regular jump throw. And then for the smoke, you're going to want to aim right above this third square, so about here. And then shift, walk, jump throw when you get to about the middle of the square. And those two land together and does not get put out.
Here's a clip of the donut smoke molly combo thrown from a pro match. This is a must-know nade set that every team throws nowadays, so make sure you learn it.
If you want to throw the infinite Molotov without the smoke, there's actually a better way to do so. You can aim at the middle of this waterfall and then aim to the left of the second branch at the height of this light, just like this. Again, regular jump throw. So the difference between these two mollies is that this one spreads further to the left, so you don't have to worry about a guy being here, but it also gets put out by the smoke if you throw it. So you kind of have to choose one. You either want the guy to be smoked off or you want more to be mollied. You have to choose one. So now moving on to CT side, we're going to start with the instant B doors smokes from spawn. And we're going to be going left to right, which are luckily in numerical order. So you're gonna, there's this stripe in this leaf right here. So it's dark here, then light here, then dark. You're gonna want to aim at the dark part. And you're gonna want to aim at the height of this leaf right here. So just like that. And honestly, it's very forgiving. You can aim at the top of the dark part, you can aim at the bottom. I find it easiest to throw like this. And then you're gonna want to run about 2 steps and then jump through, just like that quick. Because if you run too far, it'll hit the top of the doors like this. But if you don't run enough, it'll obviously hit this lip. So you got to practice it. Definitely kind of a feeling thing that helps. And now moving on to the next spawn, which is spawn number 2. You're going to want to find this leaf right here, and you're going to want to aim at like the tip of it. Just like that. And then you're going to want to run 1-2 steps. You're going to feel your character level out because he's going to go from a high elevation to a low. So once you feel that happen, that's kind of when you jump throw. You'll know what I mean if you practice this smoke. Just like that. Again, don't want to run too far or else it'll hit the top. Too little, it'll hit a lip. Then moving on to spawn number 3. You're going to aim in the middle of this brick right here. And then right before you hit the bottom, basically as you hit this bottom line, you're going to jump throw. That should look something like this. And now for spawn number 4, you're gonna aim just to the left of this line right here, so it doesn't hit the chimney. And once you get to about here, you're gonna jump through, and it should look something like this. And it's gonna bounce a little differently than the others. It's gonna bounce off this inside line, but it should land just the same. Lastly, for spawn number 5, this is not a completely instant smoke, but you do line it up off spawn and throw it pretty quickly. So the way you line the smoke up is aiming at the middle of this line, in between this brick and this brick. I mean, right there, without moving your crosshair. You're running. I aim down from here, essentially, this line. Then, without moving your crosshair, just hold A to get you on this wall just off the chimney, and then you jump throw after running at the same point for spawn number 4. So right here, not when you hit this bottom line, but just before it. Just like that, and there's no gaps. We have the B door smoke without a spawn. You're going to want to come to the right side of these bricks, just like that. You're going to want to aim halfway between these 2 pillars, just like that. And then once you get to the second layer of bricks right here, you're going to want to jump through. So just like this, and then jump through. Again, you're going to want to practice the smoke. Too much results in you hitting the top. Too little, it's going to fall short. And last but not least, for the instant smokes, we have the instant aim smokes, which I only know 2 of, which are not actually side by side. It's actually the middle spawn, which is spawn number 3, and spawn number 5. So I'll start with the middle spawn, which is actually easier, which is spawn number 3. You're going to want to find this big leaf pile here, and then you're going to want to go to the rock next to it. And you want to go down to this thick line right here. So you're just going to want to aim at this thick part right here, like that, and then tap W jump there. And you want it to bounce off this hill, and then trickle down this way. And then the other instant smoke is from the spawn closest to A. You're going to want to crouch. You're going to want to find this little slit in the leaf and see where it ends. And then just go up from the end point to the middle line. Like that. And then stand. And you're going to tap W and jump there. And you want it to bounce once off this and then land like that. And it technically does leave a gap if you push close to it and walk like this from this side. But as long as you don't do that, if you're back here and everything, you should not be exposed by this gap. And since we only have 2 smokes for a main from the spawn, which would be spawn 5 and spawn 3, we're actually going to use one more feature of refrags to find one for spawn 4 just to make it complete. And the feature that we're going to be using is actually the grenade finder AI. And the way you access this is by going to dot menu, you hit the grenade finder menu option, and you're going to want to make sure for this one at least you're in the spot where you want to be, or where you want to be throwing the nade. So this would be spawn 4 in my case. I'm going to hit 2 to set the start position, and then where you want the smoke to land, you're actually going to hit 4, and this is going to create a circle, and basically you are fine with any smoke that lands in this radius. But the only caveat is the bigger the circle, the more angles and trajectories that refrag has to go through. So the longer it's going to take, but you'll have more options. So we're going to go with a pretty big one for sake of the video. And we're going to hit 4 again when we're happy with the radius. And then to set the end position, you're going to look at where you want the smoke to land, or the center of the detonation circle that you set earlier, where you want the center to be. We're going to say right here for the center, and we hit 3. And then before we hit find, we're actually going to go into the settings. And for this, it doesn't make much sense to look for normal throw. because there's not going to be any normal throws that make it that far. So I'm going to turn that off just to make it easier to find a grenade. I don't think jump throw is going to net us anything, but we'll leave it on just in case. And then move jump throw is tap W and jump throw. So we'll leave that on. And for sake of the video, just so we know that we're going to find something, I'm actually going to do the extremely accurate. There are, I believe, 4 different accuracies. So there's less, there's accurate, very, and then extremely. And we're going to do extremely for the video. And we are going to hit find. So it is going to lag the server like quite a bit to the point where it's unplayable. So we'll go ahead and skip to the end and see the results. And then after the grenade finder is done searching through all of the possible trajectories, it'll show you anything that it found. And move jump throw means that it's a tap W jump throw. And if it didn't find anything, it actually would show 0 results if that wasn't obvious. But from here, you can go ahead and compare the different lineups. Choose what you think is the easiest to remember. Let's say it's this one right on this white. You can tap W to jump throw. And we'll see if this lands. Just what we wanted. And now moving on to the A main smoke, which is actually incredibly tricky for a set smoke. And it's also hasn't been used a lot in the current meta. So it's up to you if you want to learn it. It might not be super useful. You're going to want to have a bit of a gap between this rock and this rock. So you can see this grass part. Then you're going to want to find these set of light color leaves and keep an eye on the bottom one. And you're going to want to follow that out just a tad bit like that. So not aiming at the tip of it, but just a little bit out from it like that. And you're going to tap W jump throw. And you want it to bounce like this. You want it to bounce once and then land flush like this. And just like the spawn number 5 smoke, it does sometimes leave a gap here if you walk close to it, but it shouldn't be abusable to see deep.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Huge shout out to Refrag for the sponsor. Make sure to use code NART for 15% off your subscription. And thanks to Makzwell for assisting with the video. Peace.